Namaste, and welcome to the spring flow that I've been working with for you for the past week or so, on and off all the other busyness in life. So spring is a time to start really being very stretchy, looking mostly at muscles, joints and tendons, so having a nice good stretch out. Spring tends to be a time where the energy is quite a lot, so we want to use some poses where we can stay really grounded. So we're going to be pressing into the foundations a lot, and lots of grounding postures, lots of goddess pose, warriors will be back in, and chair pose as well, to really get that grounding effect. Colour for spring tends to be green, a really energizing colour. Element is wood, and it's going to focus a little bit on the gallbladder and the liver, but we're not going to get too focused on that, but that's really the areas that we're working. And I don't know about you, but my liver definitely needs some love at the moment. So what I want you to do is just find somewhere comfortable, whether it's seated, whether it's standing. It's really down to you, how your day's been, how you're feeling. But once you get there, I want you to have that sense of whatever's on the floor, that you're really grounding down into that, whether that's the feet, whether that's the back of the body or the sit bones. And then from that space of grounding, see if you can find space within the body, within the spine, side waist, crown of the head. And just coming into your breath. Breathing some nice deep rounds of breath, you knowing that we can start to take control of our nervous system by breathing in and breathing out with a slightly longer duration of the breath coming in. So welcome to really let that breath out through the mouth in more of a sigh. It's what always helps to deregulate my system a lot. And also, as you're breathing, just notice for any areas of tension within the body. So I've got something at the moment going on around the right shoulder, right back, around the area of my chest. The hay fever's kicked in. It's been particularly bad Monday, and probably tomorrow it's said to be high, so you can definitely feel that in the area of the chest. These nice deep breaths are a great way of getting some nice fresh oxygen into my lungs. Making sure the jaw's relaxed, the face is soft. And then however you are, you're just going to take the left hand across the right side of the body, down just by the rib cage on the right side, and then holding the right hand upon that. So this is the area where the liver is, so just giving the liver a little bit of attention, breathing into that space. Really sending the out breath to that right side of the body. Bowing the head down, bringing the hands into prayer. Maybe eyes are gazing softly, maybe they're still closed. It's completely up to you. Just asking yourself, what do you hope to get out of this practice? yourself, what do you want to get out of this practice? If there is no answers, then no worries. Bring the head up, turn up the corners of your mouth to smile, taking the hands away, and we'll come straight up to standing. So just pop in a little bit of music. So you want to take the feet so roughly hip distance apart, maybe a little bit wider, and then just working at that nice tall posture, so that grounding feeling through the feet, pressing into the four corners of the feet, the big toe joint, the little toe joint, and two sides of the heels. You might want to lift up the toes, spread those yogi toes down, so a little bit of space in between the toes. Knees above the ankles, knees soft, hips above the knees, spine lengthening, shoulders in line with the hips, ears in line with the shoulders, hands for the moment just wherever they're feeling comfortable. You can keep them into prayer or just have them down by your side. Jaw relaxed, forehead soft. Imagining from those feet a circle, a really large circle spanning out from the feet and circling all around you, just the way the roots of a tree form underground. So you've really got that sense of stability. And the more that we can ground down through the lower part of the body, the hips, the legs, the feet, the more space that gives for the spine and the rest of the body to rise upwards. We'll just take 7 rounds of breath here. Maybe even visualizing, if you have a favourite tree. You've been gazing up and noticing the blossom that's popping up all over the place. Tailbone feeling heavy, back of the body heavy, front of the body light, soft. And then just working a few gentle head movements, so staying nice and grounded through the feet. Moving the head and neck from side to side. And keep the shoulders nice and relaxed. Eyes open or closed. Nothing complicated happening. And then a circle from the right all the way to the left. And the left all the way to the right. And then maybe one circle looking up towards the sky, and if you're outside, hopefully the sky is nice and blue, that healing colour of blue. Looking down towards that green grass, the colour of spring. Little circle round, releasing out the head, neck. Coming to centre, head looking down, face looking down at that green grass. Before you take that in the opposite direction. Using your eyes to look up. Maybe drawing in some of that blue sky, that healing colour. Looking down to the ground, some of that green, energising colour. And just giving you that reminder that that green, energising colour down from the ground, bringing up that energy through the legs, up through the belly, all the way up to the top of the body, up through the crown of the head. Bringing the head all the way back down to centre, and then slowly rising all the way back up. Take a nice deep round of breath here, and then breathing out. So we're coming to the top of our mats. From here we're going to step back the right foot into a warrior one position. So you want your feet almost like train tracks. Turning the back foot in slightly, and then bending into that left leg. Keeping the top of the body nice and tall, so almost like you're drawing the lower belly in to keep it away from the hip, from the front leg. And you don't have to bend really deep, just a place that feels comfortable with your knee. And then from there, maybe the arms come up. Maybe you're not feeling arms up today, and that's okay. Then we're just going to link breath to a little bit of movement. No particular way, whatever feels good for you. So you're going to straighten the leg, taking the arms down, and then reaching forward, bending into that knee, arms come all the way up. Pressing into the back foot, and again. So you're going to inhale for one motion, exhaling for the other. And I'd play around with it if I were you. I've done it in many different ways. Two more. You can really feel that on the back leg, pressing it nice and firm. Arms come down. Then you're going to take it to the side, turning the feet outwards. And you might want to make the feet a little bit wider, again, up to you. And as we take hips down, knees start to bend, so we're in that goddess pose. The top of the body's up nice and tall, again pressing down through the feet. So you can take the hands maybe into prayer, maybe again above the head if you want a little bit more, hands staying on the hips if you want a little bit less. And then again we're going to rise up and then taking it down, arms down, rising up, taking it down, only bending that knee as far as what feels good for you. And then staying up nice and tall with the body, legs nice and straight, taking the arms out to the side. I'm going to trace the meridian lines I said we're working on. So it's gallbladder. So taking the hands into a prayer position, starting at the top of the hip, taking it to the outside of the leg. Getting in between that webbing of the big toe and the second toe. And then drawing a line all the way up the inside of the leg, up to the belly. Just below the ribs. So all the way down the side of the leg for the gallbladder, in between that webbing of the toe, and really get in there. There's a little pressure point there that is good for the liver. And then all the way up for the liver, inside of the leg, one more time. And then we'll take the same to the other side. Side of the leg, in between the webbing of the toe, all the way up. Feet pressing down. Coming back into that goddess pose, hands wherever feels more confident, comfortable, shall I say. Maybe a little rocking from side to side. Keep pressing down with the feet. Taking the hands, interlacing them behind the back of the head. You're going to bend over to one side, so just allow the torso to move from one side to the other. Stretch out to the right side for the liver, and also into the outside space of the gallbladder meridian as well. Just a couple more each side, and then pressing all the way back up. Grasping one hand, just reaching over to the side. If you need to take the feet in a little bit more, then do. Opposite hand, reaching over to the opposite side. We do that just a few times. We're going to heel toe the feet in. Yeah, that feels a bit better for me. then coming all the way to the other end of the mat. Left leg steps back. Train tracks again. We're coming into our warrior one. So you want to feel that the yoga mat is being stretched underneath the feet, the back toes turned in slightly. Knee a little bit bent. I always have a bit of a bend in the knee here, just to give more freedom to the hip. And again, you're working that breath with movement. So bringing the arms down, straightening that leg. Bending the knee, calming back in. Keep that lower belly pulled in. A little bit of action there on that left glute. Pressing into that back foot. We might do a few more on one side and the other, but don't worry. I'm going to come all the way back to center, straighten up the leg, back into that goddess pose. Hands wherever feels comfortable. A few rounds of breath there. And then taking the arms all the way up. And then allowing the arms to move the torso. Remember that drawing in of the energy up from the green grass, up from the earth. Coming all the way up to center. Oh, pressing up through the legs. Arms come down. We're going to turn this left foot out and then just stepping all the way to the top of the mat. So maybe come in a little bit further away from the top. I'm going to try a little bit of warrior three. We're going to stand nice and firmly into one foot. Toes are spread. You're nice and grounded there. Lifting up through lower belly. So really engage core muscles, engaging that lower belly. It will help also engage the back chain of the body. You're going to take the arms out to the side as you take this opposite foot, whichever one that you're not standing into, all the way back. Arms out to the side, give you a bit of balance. And then back in. I'm going to do that 6 times. So I'm going to come and face this way actually. You might not be able to get the leg back so far. No, I can't. Do it with one arm. So if you can't get that leg all the way up, it doesn't matter. You can just take it back, have the tippy toes on the floor, and then really send the sit bones back. You'll get a nice pull in the hamstring. When you're ready, taking it to the opposite side. So arms come up to the side. At the moment, I'm inhaling to lift the leg up. Arms come out. And then exhaling, squeezing in on that belly to bring everything back together. But choose what suits you. Remembering it's absolutely okay if you're here. As I said, my liver needs a little bit of a rest. So you might have had a glass of wine or something before this practice. So we'll blame the wobbles on. And then coming again just to stand nice and tall. Maybe hands in Anjali Mudra, dropping down again, just coming back to that question. What are you hoping? What are you wanting to get from the practice? A little bit of balance, a little bit of space in the body, space in the mind, some energy, space to slow. Although we're kind of hibernating and for some not much going on, it's busy but in a different way. But it's up to you to stick with that aeroplane with the breath movement. You can come into that aeroplane, which is actually warrior 3. So grounding down, Nice and firmly in that leg. You've got that feeling of what it feels like to go forward, but this time arms coming up by the ears, taking the leg back and reaching forwards. So again, maybe here, maybe a little bit more into this. Keep pressing down, rooting down into that foot. Don't stretch the arms out too much. So draw the shoulders back into their sockets as you take that leg back, toes point down, head coming, looking downwards towards your mat, taking a few rounds of breath, riding those waves of wobbles, just being patient with yourself. And then when you're ready, hands come up, hands back into prayer. A few rounds of breath just to reset. When you're ready, once again, arms up by the ears, grounding down in that standing foot. Reach up to the ceiling, draw the shoulders back in, draw up through or from the kneecaps. Really plug that femur up into the hip point as you take yourself forward, and ooh, very different on this side. I need to press more into the inner edge of my foot. A few rounds of breath if you can. You've got a side, you can even hold on to a side with just the fingers, just to give you a little bit more confidence more than anything. And now I'm holding on, I probably can't let go without wobbling all over the place. When you're ready again, all the way up, hands in, just a few rounds of breath. Notice how the body feels. Hands down by our side. I want you to turn the toes in slightly so the heels are moving outwards, so we're kind of in that stance a little bit. That feels okay for the hips and the knees. So it can be a lot depending on how your femur and your hips are made up. For others it can be a little. For me it's just a little bit. And I'm going to come down into that chair pose that I know you all love. So bending the knees, sit bones down to the ground, arms come out, and then making a fist with the arms, putting the hands back in, drawing yourself all the way up. So really press into the ground. Bringing the arms forwards. Exhaling, arms come in, draw the belly and press into the ground. So you might feel this a little bit more with the heels outwards in the inner thighs. And then into that chair pose and holding it there. So the hands can rest down by the knees, down in front, up, join in, up to you, find what works best. See if you can sink a little bit lower, see if you can pull the lower belly in a little bit more, just to have some space between lower belly and the top of the thigh. Find a point just in front of you to gaze at, to keep the balance. Press down into the feet as much as you possibly can. Feel that energy there, gaining the belly to recharge almost your batteries. And then when you're ready, that breath to fold down. Inhale to raise up. Straight ahead. Give us a smile. Take a deep breath in. Exhale to fold over again. Knees can be as bent or as straight as you like. Inhale, coming up. Use a smile, maybe a wave. Exhale, folding down. Stepping down onto the floor, hands and knees. Working out cat and cow. So again, you want to be pressing the ground away from you as you arch through the back. Pressing the shins, tops of the feet into the ground as you round. Arms pressing down, hands pressing down, fingers nice and wide. breath once again in a way that works for you. When you're ready to, tucking toes under, hips all the way up for your downward facing dog. You can walk the dog, pedaling a little bit through the feet. A little bit of scissor dog kicks, which is a great one to be doing with the spring energy. So lifting the right leg upwards towards the sky, and then imagining that that left heel has got an anchor on it, bringing it down to the ground. So a little bit of stretching in both directions. Press into the hands, claw the fingers forwards, and then take that right leg all the way down. Inhaling, left leg comes up. Keep the breath flowing. Right heel gets nice and heavy. Keep the arms exactly where they are. Pressing into the hands, clawing the fingers forwards. Left foot comes down, switching over again. Maybe noticing a little bit more space each time you bring that leg up. You want to draw the front ribs in, so you've got a little bit of connection there with the belly, and don't worry if the feet start to come towards. I tend to end up with my feet both together by the end of doing a few of these. Once more to each side. Really open the toes, allow that sunshine to come in. When you're ready, down onto the knees, child's pose, fingers stretched out, clawing again through your fingers, seeing if you can crawl your fingers all the way to the tip of your mat as you're wriggling the hips backwards. A little bit of space for the belly, so I like the toes together, the knees a little bit of a gap. And with an in breath, we're going to raise all the way up. Snaking onto the belly, breathing out, looking up, inhaling, rising all the way back, exhaling, coming forwards, long deep breath. You need to take a little bit more breath than you do. Inhaling to come back, exhaling to come forwards. And you can even try and reverse the breath. So a little bit of a level 1, this position, upward facing dog. You'll notice that we're up a lot higher than we are for our cobras. And if you know up dog, happy for you to come into that if that works okay for you, but you might need to readjust your feet if you have no idea what I'm talking about. Let it go. So start to really articulate the spine to get some movement happening into the spine. Some of that rounding. Drawing the belly in as you come into this position here when you're arching upwards, just to help the back. But if it's too much, just knowing that you can come all the way down, it is so possible. And then coming up into that baby cobra. So I know many people have bad backs, so if that might feel a little bit safer, then happy for you to do that. Stay in there for a few rounds of breath. And when you're ready, just come round.
I did not know what tears were. Everything.
Onto our backs. Draw the knees into the chest. Squeezing them in nice and tight, bringing the head up to the knees. Giving them a little bit of a kiss. Maybe rocking a little bit from side to side. Stretching one leg up. in a little bit through the ankles. We're really pressing into these feet to get that feeling of grounding. You'll be feeling that lush grass underneath the feet if you're lucky enough to be doing this in the sunshine, which I was hoping to do, but it didn't turn out that way. Excuse me. And eventually just coming to rest wherever feels comfortable. You can do your shavasana. Again, you could take a seat, which I'm going to do, but if you're laying down, then please stay there. Maybe again, you're wanting to take that left hand over to the right side of the body. And maybe placing that right hand on top or leaving it somewhere comfortable. So don't want to cause any tension anywhere, holding onto the liver in the body, maybe even wrapping the arms a little bit, giving yourself a hug.
I did not know what cheese was. Everything around me was so beautiful. I'm happy to hear our voice. It goes with the happiness.
Just breathing nice and deeply. Maybe repeating mantra. So mantra is said to liberate the mind, and any seeds that you want to plant for yourselves, not literally out gardening, although that's good, but any seeds you wish to grow throughout this time would be a really good time to sow them seeds now through mantra. The mantra that I chose for this is I create balance in my life. I create the balance in my life. I create balance in my life. those of you that have something in life to get back to, then just begin to be aware of your surroundings. When you're ready, some gentle movements and stretches. Just to begin to wake up your body, mind. Without rushing at all, and just know that if you don't want to come up to the seat, absolutely okay just to stay where you are. Whenever you're ready, come into a comfortable seat, keeping the eyes soft. Eventually maybe coming up to that seat with the eyes closed. With the eyes closed, beginning just to imagine yourself, whether you've been watching the blossom in the trees, just imagining that. Maybe picturing your favourite tree if you have one. Maybe for some, lush green landscape of some kind. Imagining that green colour of spring, one of my favourite colours. Knowing that you have this and the other practices to tap into at any point in the day, any point during this time, as a tool to bring yourself back to yourself, really. Thank you so much. Enjoy that glow, the feeling of being centered, grounded, space.